Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Alyssa Adams, and I'm the Director of Executive Coaching with Team Performance Institute. And I'm here with Jennifer Shepard to talk about growth mindset journaling. Welcome, Jennifer, and tell us a
Hi,
little bit about
Alyssa.
yourself. Hi.
I am also a Team Performance Institute Executive Performance Coach, and I'm so happy to be here with you, Alyssa, to talk about growth mindset, fixed mindset, and growth mindset journaling.
Great, great. So we are going to dig right in and get right to the good stuff. So tell us, Jennifer, what is a growth mindset and what is a fixed mindset?
Growth mindset happens when we see challenges and we embrace the challenge and view it as an opportunity to grow. A fixed mindset is when we have a belief that a talent, a trait, or our intelligence is unchangeable.
Mhm.
So what happens is when we see a challenge, we tend to retreat back into our comfort zone.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to expand on that a little, one of the things that was always interesting to me about growth mindset versus fixed mindset is that sometimes we're in growth mindset around one thing, sometimes we're in a fixed mindset around others. It doesn't have to be that you're always in a fixed mindset or always in a growth mindset. It's kind of that awareness that feels like the right first step. What do you think about that, Jennifer?
Absolutely. We both have growth minds. We all have growth mindset and fixed mindset, and we go between the two. And what I think is really important is knowing, when are we in a growth mindset? When are we in a fixed mindset? Because that's a chance where we can take an opportunity to do something differently and take an action.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And related to what you're saying, share with us a little bit about the benefits of using a growth mindset versus being kind of stuck in a fixed mindset.
Growth mindset has so many benefits. I would say one of the biggest ones is we see failure as a chance to grow as well and to learn from failure. And we view feedback, when we get feedback from our managers or VPs, we view feedback as like, how can I do better? What am I learning from this? And I think one of the biggest benefits of being in a growth mindset is it really grows our confidence.
Mm,
Huge.
yeah, do you find that it's harder to get into or to challenge yourself to move into a growth mindset if you're not feeling confident? How do you how do you kind of encourage yourself to get into a growth mindset even when maybe you're feeling like a little worried or nervous or like this isn't in my wheelhouse?
I think it's really important that we slow down and we take a pause when we feel like I'm feeling like I can't take this on.
Yeah.
Take a pause and say, what's getting in my way here?
Mhm.
Okay, look at a different attitude or perspective and put effort towards that and see what happens. We might surprise ourselves.
Yeah, I love that. I love the like experimentation kind of style of playing with these things and playing with kind of shifting yourself into a growth mindset. So maybe you can share with us, and then we're going to talk a little bit about journaling specifically. But before we do that, share with us a little bit about like what's just one step you can take to move yourself into a growth mindset. Like, let's say you're going about your day to day, you're presented with a challenge, and you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm really coming at this challenge with a fixed mindset. Like, what's the first thing or one thing you can do to try to click yourself over into a growth mindset and shift your perspective?
Something might be just shifting my attitude.
Mm-hmm.
What's my attitude about this? Or what am I thinking about myself in this situation? And it doesn't have to be that fixed, like, I can't do this, or I'm not good at this. It could be something like, I'm going to give this a try, or
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the right path, or I'm going to be okay going for this new way of thinking of things or this action.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that. I love that. And those are good things to maybe have even like written down. Because sometimes it's hard to generate that when we're like in the stress moment. So I love those examples you just gave as like stick them on a post-it, right? Because we all know we're going to be presented with challenges or situations that are hard and things that might get us a little stuck in a fixed mindset. So I love those examples. That's so helpful. It's how you talk to yourself can be the first invitation into switching into a growth mindset. I love it. Thank you, Jennifer. So let's talk a little about journaling. So first of all, before we talk about it with clients and how do you help people use it in your work. How do you use journaling in your own life?
Well, here's my growth mindset journal, and I call it, you see
Great.
it there? My aha moments live here.
I love it.
And this is where I really learn more about myself. And this
Mhm.
is something that I really encourage my clients to do too, is journal. What's going on? What am I thinking about myself and others? Am I in the growth mindset, or am I in a get fixed mindset?
Mhm.
Where can I take an opportunity to change that?
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I love that. And I also really appreciate you doing the practice yourself, so that you're kind of doing it alongside of your clients. When we recommend things to folks as coaches, it often helps to have the experience of doing it yourself, right? Trying it out yourself, knowing what's useful, what's not, kind of how you get the most out of it. So describe how you use journaling with your clients.
So I asked them to put in 4 entries. The
Mhm.
first is, what is the goal? What are they working on? What's the goal? The second is, let's make a plan. What is the plan? The third is, what do they need to accept and allow happening when they're going after this goal? And the fourth is, what was the breakthrough when we went, or the impact?
Mhm. Yeah, that's really interesting. And can you get this specific for us? Like, can you walk us through a scenario where somebody might use this, or a common goal that you see clients working towards? Like, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So if the goal is, I need to speak up more in meetings, like what, write down why that's important to you and what could get in the way of that. So a lot of people will say it's important to me to show my team what I know.
Mhm.
But what gets in the way is the distractions. I might come across like I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm the quiet one in the group. So why speak up now? I've already been labeled. Or it could just be, I might be judged by my team.
Mhm.
And that's what keeps people back in that fixed mindset, back in that comfort zone. So
Mhm.
then I ask them, okay, let's make a plan. Well, the plan could include something like, I'm going to speak up 2 times no matter what.
Mhm.
The other thing could be maybe wear their confidence color that day, get the agenda, familiarize themselves with the agenda. That can help.
Mhm.
And another thing that I think is really important, Alyssa, is practice.
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. And go ahead, please.
And then the third entry is accept and allow. What do I need to accept and allow when I'm going to speak up in a meeting? So people have to accept and allow that might feel anxiety.
Mhm.
They might feel the noise and the distractions in their head, but they need to move beyond that. Just accept the uncomfortable feelings and do it anyway.
Mhm.
Trust your gut. The gut has so much information.
Mhm.
Trust the gut and go for it. And then the last thing is write about what the progress was, impact, or the benefits of it.
Mhm.
And inevitably, there's always great benefits after
Mhm.
we take an action when living and moving in the growth mindset. Like people, they find out people didn't judge them. And the feedback was fantastic. It's so different than what they think is going to happen.
Mhm. I love when we help our clients prove themselves wrong, right? Where you're like, you thought it was going to be this, but it wasn't, right? It was this much more benign experience, or this thing where maybe no one even looked or commented, which is better, right? Or it's something that ended up being really positive. So often, exactly as you said, we create these scenarios in our head, and it's always great to challenge those, to experiment, to see if we can shift ourselves into a different way of perceiving it, a different way of working with that. Awesome.
Absolutely.
So what are some of the benefits that you've seen in clients once they started doing more growth mindset journaling?
Well, I've seen that they get into a habit of
Mhm.
writing, and they don't have to write on in the journal. They can write on their phones, or they can record themselves on their phones. It's whatever works for them. But when we get into a habit and the habit works for us and has benefits, we are motivated to keep doing it again and again. And that's
Mhm.
what I see in the growth mindset journaling or any kind of writing. It's super helpful.
Mhm. Do you find that sometimes people are a little resistant to journaling or feel like, I don't want to write down any of that stuff. Like I'll just kind of keep it in my head. So how do you help them move past that barrier and commit to this experiment?
Well, try it. We don't know until we try, and it's like, why not try it and just see what happens?
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that. And we also know as coaches, right? So much of the coaching experience is going to push you to the edges of your comfort zone, right? It's trying new things, trying to react or respond in a different way to scenarios and situations. So it's all kind of part of that growth stretching experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then when something good happens, we see a benefit, pause to celebrate.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Pause to celebrate.
I love that. And maybe just in our last minute, we can talk a little more about you and how you would describe how you work with clients as a coach.
Well, I tell my clients there's three things that I am all about in coaching. And the first is I'm a coach of action. Without action, nothing will change. So action. The second thing is self-compassion. We need to be really kind to ourselves, especially in the growth mindset journaling as well. Dust our feet off and try it again. And then the third thing is use your voice. I encourage people, use a voice. It's powerful. Speak up in the meeting. Speak up when you get feedback. Get clarity. So yeah, those three things are really, I would say, important to me in my coaching.
I love it. That's great. I have one more follow-up question for you about your coaching. How do you think, from your own perspective, people feel when they're being coached by you?
Oh, wow. They're heard and they're seen. And I think one thing that I hear a lot of is they don't feel judged. I mean, I just hold this space for them to be vulnerable and open, and allows them to tell me more about what's going on and moving forward. Like you said, stretch themselves, nudge themselves to do something differently and get outside their comfort zone.
Yeah. Oh, that's great, Jennifer. Thank you so much for this wisdom and sharing your experience and your background in using journaling and growth mindset journaling in particular. And just thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, Alyssa. Thanks for this great opportunity. It's been really wonderful working with you.
Awesome. And thank you everyone for listening, whoever's tuned in to check this out. Stay tuned for more of these, and